Hi everyone, welcome back to Total War Therapy, and today we're gonna answer to the question which is the best melee infantry in 2025. I split the video in two sections, the defensive infantry and the offensive infantry, so don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video and let's begin. At the fourth place of the best defensive infantry in Total War Warhammer 3, we find a good old classic of Total War Warhammer 2. I'm talking about the Temple Guard. The Temple Guard are the most elite infantry of the Lizardmen, and I remember back in Total War Warhammer 2 they were seriously probably the best defensive infantry there, because they were with halberds, I mean this kind of Lizardmen halberds, but at the same time they were shielded. So compared to the Phoenix Guard, the Black Guard of Nagaron for example, they were not also very good against anti-large foes, but you could actually use them as a front line, because with the shields they were more protected from missile attack, and still armor piercing. They have a lot of abilities in that increase their stats in particular situation, like the predatory fighter when an enemy is rooting, or the primal instincts when the hit points are less than 50%, like for the slayers. The secret duty, that it's very cool ability, because if there is a lord and hero in the presence they will cause fear, and for an infantry unit this is very helpful. You know, if you can cause fear with monsters and beasts is a thing, but if your own front line can scare the enemy, that's insane. And then they get immune to psychology, they have the guardian, so yeah, it's very important to keep them closer to a lord. And yeah, they are still the charge defense versus large, the charge reflection. They are a very solid, nice units. At the third place we find the Chosens of Slaanesh with Hell Scourges. You didn't expect that, and you will not expect that they are probably the most expensive infantry here. Yes, I mean, Chosen are quite expensive, and this Slaanesh version is the most expensive, together with the Zinch one with the halberds. And yeah, I don't use this unit a lot, just because I don't play with Slaanesh a lot, since, I mean, for now is not the best faction in the game, but we hope soon with the DLC things will get different. But if we're talking about the best defensive units, they deserve a place in the podium. They have a lot of armor, 120, they are shielded, they are quite slow, I mean, for the armor, and the melee attack and melee defense are quite strong. The melee defense reached 70, that it's insane. In all the game it's very rare to see a 70 as a melee defense without technology, skill trees and so on. The weapon strength is good, but it's not armor piercing, but I mean, it's still a defensive unit, so who cares? They have a good charge bonus, even if with their speed, I mean, they're not you cannot charge with them, and they have the poison effect, so they will reduce the stats of the enemy. They are immune to psychology, that, as I said, for a defensive infantry is very important, because I mean, if you need to defend other parts of your army composition, you know, they cannot allow themselves to run away, to root, so very good. Then of course charge defense, charge reflection. They have striders, so you should not care a lot about if you know, they are down the hill or at the top of the hill, because they will perform in I mean, they will not get the buff in any case. Some physical resistance, yeah, they're very solid units if you want to use the hammer and anvil strategies, like I mean, like with Slaanesh, since many units have the devastating flankers, so you need just this wall to keep busy the other enemy units while you are charging them around with your other faster units. And they're very cool. Of course, they are very expensive. At the second place we find a unit of Total War Warhammer 1. I'm talking about the Ironbreakers. You probably were expecting to see them here. They are very nice units. They are quite expensive, like I mean, all the elite units here, but in this case you can really rely on them. They have still an armor of 125, so very strong. They are shielded, and with the new ability that they added with one of the last patches, where you can do this wall formation and you can protect, you can be even more protected, okay, by missile and everything. They're just immune to range attack. A good leadership. The speed is just, I mean, they are armored dwarves, so what you expect? Just 26. That, I mean, probably neither Nurgle is that slow. The melee attack and melee defense is quite good. The melee defense is 66, less than as I say, the Chosens of Slaanesh, but still very good. The weapon strength is it's a little low, honestly, but yeah, they're not supposed to deal damage, but just to protect your infantry from I mean, protect your artillery, your missile infantry, and so on. They have a couple of bombs, of grenades that are very strong. They have a lot of missile strength, a very short range, but I mean, they are bombs, and they are not supposed to have a very long arm, so it's okay. They have spell resistance, that even this is a very good attribute for an infantry, because and then they are very slow, so they will be, you know, vulnerable to bombardment spells, wind spells, so having this spell resistance can help them a lot. They have charge defense, but not charge reflection, and yeah, they are a very good unit to use in your late campaign. You can just I mean, they are quite expensive, but you can fill all your armies with them, and you will never get disappointed. At the first place of the podium of the best defensive infantry, we find the Infernal Ironsworn from Chaos Dwarfs. They are one of the unit more recent added, because I mean, it's with one of the last DLCs, and it's they are very strong. They are the most elite unit in infantry unit in the Chaos Dwarfs roster, and honestly, I never recruit them because I mean, the Infernal Guard is already too strong. It's already enough strong, and you don't need to get even a stronger version. But yeah, they are definitely the best unit here. They have again an armor of 125. They are shielded. They have a charge defense, but not charge reflection. They don't have the spell resistance like the Ironbreakers, but they have the fire resistance. That for me is useless. Then they have again these bomb grenades with a little more range, but the same missile strength. That as I said, as a precursor attack, it's very strong. They have a melee defense of 64, a good melee attack with flaming and magical effect, and yeah, they're very sturdy. Then they have this, I mean, they're still in a high number of 100, so I mean, when you find them in the battlefield as your enemy, you know that it will be just this wall, this unbreakable wall, that it's impossible to get over it. So yeah, you have just to leave them as the last unit, because I mean, and they have even a very good leadership, so they will hardly root, and yes, just take care of them as the last thing, because otherwise, you know, they will destroy you with their artillery, with their missiles, with their monsters, and yeah, you will not get over this shielded wall. At the fourth place of the best offensive infantry, we find the Chosens of Khorne with dual weapons. Now, this is a crazy unit. They have 80 entities with a lot of armor, 130, good leadership. The speed is a little low, that for an offensive unit it can be a problem, but yeah, they are so sturdy and so tough that they are almost immune to arrows and so on. The melee attack and melee defense are quite high with the flaming effect, the weapon strength with the anti-infantry bonus, so they are better against not heavy infantry, and yeah, they have a good charge bonus of 38, the frenzy that basically increase their stats, and then the Mark of Khorne, that I mean, is in general a way to tell you that you will get more, you have better offensive stats than defensive, and the spell resistance like dwarves of 35%, that can be very helpful in many situations. And yeah, I like this unit. It's of course very expensive, but in the late game with Khorne you will have I mean, almost never breakable unit. You can deal with the big, very big bunches of infantry, and they will do a lot of damage, and I mean, in exchange they will not suffer anything. They have very few predators in the game, probably just monsters, because if you think about against this kind of infantry you send other like anti-infantry, armor-piercing infantry, but since they have a big number and still the anti-infantry bonus, they can manage to fight with them, and they are enough tough, and you know, with a big mass to not to be protected from cavalry charging units. So yeah, honestly, and they have the spell resistance for magic, so their only predator here are for sure monsters, not even characters. Characters can be quite in danger with them, and yeah, they're just very solid, and I like it. Of course, as I said, very expensive, so don't take that many of that, but yeah, for offensive strategies they are just perfect. At the third place of the best offensive infantry we find the Chosens of Nurgle with great weapons. This is another probably one of the yeah, according to many other people, is the best infantry in all the game, is the toughest, the one that win mostly of encounters, not only against infantry but even against the monsters, cavalry, because apparently their mass is so high they cannot be kicked away by anything. The armor is 120, the leadership is good, the speed of course slow, I mean all the same things, you know, good melee defense, good melee attack with the poison effect. They have this big great axes with armor piercing damage, and honestly if you give a look at the stats they just look very random. I mean, an elite unit but nothing that special, they don't have any you know, particular abilities, attributes, but they actually perform very well in the battlefield. I mean, for whichever situation you need them as a support, you need them as a front line to defend your flanks. I mean, they are perfect at anything, and as I say, with this great access they will smash everything, monsters, cavalry, characters. They are just, yeah, they have no predators here. There is nothing. If you find them in your enemy army, you really are speechless and you don't know how to deal with that. So I really like them. They're quite I would say a little boring unit here, because I mean the market Warriors of Chaos compared to the more Nurgle ones. I mean, I prefer more to play with Nurgle demons or even with the ogre, and so I kinda avoid this unit, but I have to admit that it's probably one of the best here. And of course, at the second place of the best offensive infantry here, we find the Doomseekers. The Doomseekers have been added with the Thrones of Decay, one of the last DLC, and oh my god, this unit is crazy. Their number is quite low compared to the Chosen we were talking before, so they are just 32, but they have a lot of mass, like any of them is like a cavalry basically. They don't have armor, they have 0 armor, that but I mean, we're talking about offensive infantry, so the armor is less important. They are unbreakable, so you don't have to worry about them rooting, wavering, and nothing. They will never leave the battlefield if they don't fall down, all of them. The speed, they are fast, and they are dwarfs, so you know, you don't expect that even compared to the other Chosen, but they are fast. They are a fast infantry with melee attack, and it's very hard to find elite infantry that fast. The melee attack and melee defense are very high with the magical effect. The armor piercing is the weapon strength, it's armor piercing, anti-infantry, and it's high, but if you think that they're actually just 32 models, is not that high. The charge bonus is pretty strong, and then they have many abilities. They have still the spell resistance, so they are quite immune to magic. The vanguard deployment, but I would not suggest to use this a lot. The death blow, so when their hit points will be very I mean, where they will be almost you know, away in the other world they will perform even better. Then they have the Words of Grimir, and their damage resistance will increase with each kill made, so yeah. And the Whirlwind of Death, that it's a vortex ability with just one use that I mean, it's not a game changer ability, but at the same time it can give you a good boost I mean, during the battle. I love to use this unit, and I hate to fight against them. I had many campaigns where I was playing against dwarves, and in the recent times they were just filling their armies of Doomseekers, and it was quite a big problem because I mean, they are unstoppable. You can try with everything, but as I said, with all the resistance and by, you know, with technology and skill trees, they get even more powerful, and they're just unstoppable. Yeah, the right way to describe them is unstoppable. And with every infantry, even the best one, they manage to destroy the, you know, the immortals of the Chaos Dwarves, so you have to be very, very careful because they are insane. At the first place of the podium of the best offensive infantry, we find the Wrathmongers. First, I mean, fun fact, the Wrathmongers, if you manage in I mean, if you do everything correctly in the campaign, you can get them with 0 upkeep. Yeah, I said it correctly, 0 upkeep, you can believe me. Or maybe they were reaching like 8, but I mean, 8 money for a unit like that. Okay, let's move on. Now, they have they're still in low number as the Doomseekers, just 32, but believe me, it's not a problem here. They have a good leadership of 85, they're not unbreakable, but don't worry about that. Very, very fast like the Doomseeker with the 40. The melee attack and melee defense are of course high, with a better melee attack than the defense. The weapon strength is 80. Armor piercing and 80. That is a lot, even given the low number, and the charge bonus is 44. Remember that with technology and skill trees you can really increase a lot these stats, and with the presence of Scarblood Wrath even more, so yeah, they are just crazy. They have the frenzy that increase their stats even more. The immune to flanking, that is probably they are, I'm quite sure they are the only infantry unit in this game with immune to flanking ability. That is basically means that there will be no penalties when they will be attacked from the sides. They have the spell resistance like they're actually like the Doomseekers, yeah, everything. And so basically, yeah, even they are less vulnerable to spells and so on. How to use them? You have just to charge the enemy like what is that? To charge the enemies like if it's cavalry, a monster, and so on. And you would see they are one of the few units in this game that you can actually see the health of your enemy or your enemies decreasing very, very fast. Okay, normally this happens when you charge with cavalry or with a monster or with a spell. No, they're like, yeah, they're just this destroying avalanche of blood and hammers, and I love it. I mean, they are incredible, they are amazing, and I had a lot of fun with them in my last campaign with Arbal, so really suggest it. And as I said, compared to, you know, the other units we were talking about, if you do everything correctly, you will have for real 0 upkeep, so I cannot even tell you they are expensive, so be careful to recruit them. No, I mean, do everything okay, and you will see that I mean, you can have an entire armies of them with no money, so they are perfect for that. And thank you for following me. Let's see very soon.